All right, hey Vikings fans, welcome in to another episode of the Skol Hop. I'm Evan.
And I'm Austin.
We're just a couple of dudes from Iowa. We like drinking beer, talking about the Vikings.
Yep, and the beer we drank tonight was one that we've had before, but darn it, if it wasn't just as good as we had it the last time.
Super great beer. We're also going to give you our final thoughts on this 2025 Vikings roster. And we even kind of take a look at who might make their first Pro Bowl of their career.
Yep, and we even expanded it out a little bit. We talked about the rest of the NFC North a little bit, and maybe even speculated if the Packers just bought some damaged goods.
Yep, and then we finish things off by previewing week 1, which will be a week from right now as we're recording this. Monday Night Football against the Bears. Can't wait.
Yeah, that should be a great game. Hopefully a Vikings victory. But until then, grab a cold one and join us. Skol.
Skol.
All right, we just want to say thank you to show sponsor Big Top Ventures for sponsoring today's episode. If you are looking to take a trip to an all-inclusive in Mexico or Jamaica, go ahead and reach out to our friends Big Top Ventures, and we'll put their email up on the screen here. That is bigtopventuresllc@gmail.com. Send them an email and let them know you want to take a trip to one of those all-inclusive resorts, and they will get back to you with all the information you could ever want, and more importantly, the best prices possible on booking a trip to those locations. So thank you very much, Big Top Ventures. I'm looking forward to my next trip there.
Yeah, what is it, like tomorrow or something?
No. Although our friend at Big Top Ventures is leaving for a trip very soon here in the next couple of weeks, so I'm pretty jealous for that. But I'll be going. I don't think I have another trip until next summer. My wife is going on a girls' trip around spring break time, so
there you go. Nice. Well, let's get into the beer here. Fun fact, actually 2 fun facts about the beer tonight. Number 1, we've had this beer on an episode before. Mm-hmm. I forget what episode it is. I'd have to go back and look at our list here, and I'll do that in a minute. But I went to the store with my brother-in-law, Jason, fellow Vikings fan, possibly future guest on the show.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And I said, hey, why don't you pick the beer tonight? And I said, it's got to be an Iowa beer. But other than that, so we scanned the shelves for quite a while, and
that's a lot of control. He could have picked something
very
unique.
I pointed out the pickle beer that's still on the shelf there. I pointed out the Neon from Barntown that we had last week that was really good. Mm-hmm. There was another one that they had, Cotton Candy Sour, that I was like, hey, I've thought about that one. He goes, that one's really expensive, though. He landed on this one, Hold My Pretzel, out of SingleSpeed in Waterloo, and we've had this one. I remember this being a really good beer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and we're right in it. We are in Oktoberfest time right now. I think recently in the Amana colonies they had their Oktoberfest like even this previous weekend, and I might be wrong on that, but I think they did. And we've had this one before. The second you pulled it out of the fridge, I was stoked. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Your wife can attest to that. She was standing right there when I noticed which one it was. I'm really excited for this one. Thank you, Jason, for picking this one out. Yeah. And let's double down. I'll back it up. Let's have him on the show because he's a good Vikings fan. We have attended a Vikings game with him.
Yes, we have.
He'd be fun to have on the show.
Yeah. So formal invitation, Jason, come on down. You can sit right here with us and have a beer.
Is he a beer guy? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, sweet. I should have.
That's why we went to the store together.
Oh, sure. Okay.
We were at our in-laws, and there was no beer there. We had to go out and get some. We got a hazy little thing.
Ah, okay.
So that was a good one, too.
There you go.
So.
All right, well, I'm really excited for this one. It's got really great head retention, just an awesome golden brown color, but not too dark. It's a fest beer, and I don't know. What's the content here? It says 5.9. 5.9, so solid content. Nothing that's going to kill you the next day, but Yeah, enough. So let's dive in.
Skol.
Skol.
Yeah, it's everything that I want a beer to be.
Yes, absolutely. I need like a fire going in front of us.
Yep.
Nice little chill in the air. Maybe wearing a hoodie, celebrating a nice Vikings win earlier in the day. Let's go. This is a good beer.
We're getting there too. Like the season starts a week from right now. Like literally 7 days from now, we're going to be hopefully live streaming during the Bears game Monday night. So stay tuned on YouTube for that. We'll live stream on YouTube. And we've been talking about maybe kind of piggybacking off of the live stream and doing some content with that too. So we will have a normal episode next week as well. In addition to the live stream, we're just working through the logistics on that, but we're there, man. Like today's Labor Day. It's September 1st. We're headed towards fall.
Yep, we're here. Football season is here. College football started this past weekend.
I watched a lot of college football. It was awesome.
Friend of the show, Forrest, is a diehard Michigan fan. He was pretty happy about that. He and I actually have a running joke. Whenever Michigan wins, I'll text him just sarcastically and just be like, "Hey, man, sorry about Michigan today. That's tough." And he's been known to do the same about Iowa. I'm a fair weather. Not die hard, but I'm definitely an Iowa fan, and they won. They won pretty good, but man, that quarterback. I think the kicker had more yards in his one very successful kick than the quarterback had passing all day. So
because you're an Iowa fan, I don't know if you watched this, but Iowa State's kicker.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
63 yards.
63 yards.
Crazy. Iowa State they're showing something so far this year after 2 games. Iowa, they won by a pretty decent margin, but that's what you're supposed to do when you're playing against UAlbany in the first game of the season.
Right.
We'll see, because by the next time we record, Iowa and Iowa State will play the Cyhawk game, and I'm pretty fearful for Iowa in that game. But we are not an Iowa podcast, Iowa Hawkeyes podcast. We are not a college football podcast. We're
not
a
here
Vikings
to talk
podcast.
about that. We're here to talk about the Vikings. That is true. Hence the Skol. Hence all the other stuff that you see behind us. We've got a lot to talk about, and we haven't even seen them play a game yet.
Not a regular season game.
Not a regular season game. Correct.
So I guess most recently, the biggest things that have happened specifically for the Vikings, the roster's been finalized. The Vikings Twitter succeeded yet again. That's almost like a whole podcast episode worth of since Kwesi has been the GM, it really feels like Vikings Twitter has had some sway in some of these roster moves. Again, another topic for another day, but one of those moves really felt like Adam Thielen coming home, break out the 19s again. He's back. And just today, it was announced over the summer, Anthony Barr kind of officially tweeted out or whatever over the summer, I'm retiring. But today, the Vikings actually had a press conference for him and did officially honoring. I don't know if they signed a one-day contract or not, but it was kind of that idea of what they did. Eric Kendricks was there, kind of introducing him, a longtime teammate and friend. And Anthony Barr, former Vikings first-round pick, 4-time Pro Bowler, officially retired, and was honored by the Vikings today. That was pretty cool for them to do.
Yeah, really cool. I wish he could have played his entire career in Minnesota. Yeah. I know that it was a business decision there. There were no hard feelings with Minnesota, I don't think. But, man, he's one of those legendary Vikings linebackers that we'll tell our kids about someday, and our kids will tell their kids about probably someday.
I don't know. That's kind of a lot. He was pretty good. He had a good run, but he wasn't I don't know, my gosh, MVP level.
Some of those Vikings defenses under Mike Zimmer, they were elite,
they were really good.
He was at the core.
I think the biggest things I'll remember Anthony Barr for is first off, somehow Anthony Barr, Paul Allen, the day of the draft on KFAN, they do right before the draft, they do a mock draft. I think this might happen. Out of nowhere, the day of or day before the draft, Paul Allen's I think Anthony Barr, this kid nobody's been talking about for the Vikings, they might be interested in him. It's what? Nobody's mocked him. Nobody's done anything. But apparently Paul Allen had some steam that the Vikings were interested, and it ended up being true. But a couple other things. I think either his rookie year or his second year, there was a game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Barr picked up a fumble in overtime and ran it in to win a game. But then obviously the collarbone-breaking tackle of Aaron Rodgers that knocked Rodgers out for the year. And I think Packer fans, a very small minority of terrible Packer fans will still give Anthony Barr death threats.
I remember we were driving, I think we were on our way back from Minnesota, and I was listening to that game on the radio. I was listening to Paul Allen call that game, and it happened. He broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone, and then for the rest of the game, that's all Paul Allen could talk about. He'd call the play and like, oh, yep, play's over. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Anthony Barr just broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone. And then, he'd call a couple more plays. Oh, yeah, and if you're just tuning in, Anthony Barr broke his collar. It was so funny. I was pretty excited about that.
But yeah, Barr, I thought he bounced around a little bit more than he actually did. I just looked it up.
Anthony Barr for the Cowboys, right?
Yep, he was a Viking from 2014 through 2021, and then in 2022 he signed with the Cowboys. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that a year that Mike Zimmer was with the... I think that might have been even before Zimmer went to Dallas for his most recent stint there. Not important. But then in 2023, a portion of the way through the season, like towards the end of the season, the Vikings ended up signing Barr off the street again, where he wore number 54, which was kind of weird to see. Because Eric Kendricks was always 54 when Barr was on the team. But, yeah, solid Viking, four-time Pro Bowler, first-round pick. I mean, he's one of those that, like, you're not upset about his career as a first-round pick. But also, I'll say it again. I think you were a little too kind there a few minutes ago. But it's not like he was, Defensive Player of the Year. He was always solid. He was good. Nothing to be upset about.
I think he'll go down as a really good Vikings player.
I don't know. He's probably even, like, on the bubble of, like, a Ring of Honor kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's definitely worth what the team gave him today, which was like hey, congrats on your career and, congrats on your retirement. But I don't even know if it's like Ring of Honor worthy. Like, he was really good, but that's a debate we can have another time.
Well, we've got plenty of other stuff to talk about with what's coming up here. Let's talk about this roster, the 53-man, because we talked about cut down day and some surprise cuts, who got cut, who made the roster, all of that. But I think most of what we talked about last week was Adam Thielen. We were both wearing our 19 jerseys, and
I thought about wearing it tonight again. I didn't, but I thought about it.
Well, what else on the roster excites you or worries you? What are you most looking forward to with this roster?
So I think we can even just call it strengths and weaknesses. I think right now, at this moment, the wide receiver position for me is a weakness. But when everyone's healthy and everyone's off of suspension and everything, I think that'll pretty quickly flip and become a strength. Whenever you have the best player in football in Justin Jefferson, it starts from there. That's already automatically a strength, and something that a very young, inexperienced quarterback in J.J. McCarthy will lean upon. But as it sits right now with Jalen Naylor, we don't know his health. We're seeing tweets about how the Vikings are optimistic they'll have him week 1 here in a week from now. But that's still kind of concerning, like a guy that should be starter level. They're optimistic he'll be on the field. Like, that's kind of concerning. You had to trade for Adam Thielen, which was mostly necessitated by a suspension by your borderline Pro Bowl guy in Jordan Addison. And then, frankly, we haven't seen Justin Jefferson play football preseason practice at all since, the beginning of 2025, like January. So, like, there's still a question mark there for me too. So right now it's kind of a weakness, wide receivers, but very quickly it could become one of the biggest strengths in the NFL. Can you think of any other, what do you think about that? And can you think of any other strengths or weaknesses?
I definitely agree with you on wide receivers. I think the cornerback room is also kind of a question mark, and it's one that they didn't really address at all in the draft or free agency. You've got Byron Murphy and Isaiah Rodgers, I think, that are probably going to be the starters. And then you've got Dwight McGlothern and Jeff Okudah backing them up. I don't know. I still go back to the Zimmer days of, I think he used to carry more corners and safeties than anything on the defense. So to have only 4 seems like they might be missing something. And then Byron Murphy's really the only household name in that list of
and even then
corners.
He's coming off a steam of last year, which was really good for him.
Yep.
But before then, like, he's always been like about to break out, you know.
Yep.
So
I think that's just another weak point on the roster, and something they may have to address. I think what Kwesi has shown us is that he's willing to make moves anytime.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's, July, or if it's before week 1, or if it's 3 weeks, 5 weeks before the trade deadline, whatever. He'll go out and get a player if that's what the team needs, and if that's what Kevin O'Connell and the other coaches are pushing for. He'll go find a guy. So I wouldn't be surprised. This is maybe slightly a hot take. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of movement for a cornerback in the early part of the season.
Well, a couple points I want to make here. I was kind of surprised when they announced the practice squad. One name should have been recognizable, and that's veteran Fabian Moreau, who kind of came in 2 years ago and started some games and played okay. Again, nothing you're going to be mad about, but also not like crazy Pro Bowl worthy, all-pro kind of guy. But he's on the practice squad, and I would almost fully expect him, at least for the first couple of games, for them to pull him up and dress him on game day as a practice squad player, because that's something they've been able to do now for 2 or 3 years. And I would expect him to be a contributor on defense even while he's on practice squad. I think they can do that, like, it's either 2 times per player or 3 times per player. And as long as they can, they will do that. Another thing, they kind of signed another safety, which I think is kind of their another safety to the practice squad. Kayvon Wallace, yeah. And I think that's kind of their mindset with him, if they have to, because Harrison Smith has all of a sudden been out for the last 3-ish weeks for what they're calling a personal reason. It's one of those, it could be as devastating as like he's got cancer, or which is totally speculation, but like, or it could be something as simple as like he's helping a family member. Again, the way they're saying it, it's none of our business, but either way, that's another one they're saying, they're hopeful he'll be back by week 1. So I think that's their mindset with signing that other safety, Wallace, to the practice squad. He's a guy that they could dress as a practice squad player. And I don't think we talked about it, even with the concerns, because I agree with you. I think cornerback, defensive back is a little concerning right now. But even with those concerns, the Vikings still decided to trade away Micah Blackman. For, I think it was like 2 picks, a 5th and maybe something else to the Colts, which tells me a lot about what they think about Blackman, because that's a position of need right now. If you've listened to friend of the show Dustin Baker at all for the last year, whenever he's mentioned Micah Blackman, it's like, hey guys, cornerback's going to be okay, because look, there's this guy that's been injured. He was on the up and up, and now he's coming back. He's going to be helping the team. And not to say anything bad about Dustin Baker, I think it was a surprise that Blackman was coming on slow and wasn't looking that awesome in preseason. So, yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head by saying defensive back and cornerbacks are a concerning position for the Vikings at this point, right before the season.
Blackman was traded for a 6th rounder.
Oh, just okay. All right.
To the Colts.
Yeah, that tells a lot about a guy that Kwesi drafted in the 2nd round, I believe, just a few years ago.
So, yeah, I think those 2 position groups are definitely the weakest. I also think it's not necessarily a strength or a weakness. It's just a big question mark at this point. And that's this totally revamped quarterback room.
Yeah.
Like, you have no quarterbacks that were on this team last year, this year. Yeah. Like, there's no turnover. And
you're right, but we're forgetting JJ was on the roster.
He was on the roster. I should rephrase it that no quarterbacks that actually saw the field.
Yes. Yep. You're right. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And JJ, it's going to be this weird red shirt rookie thing. He's going to feel like a rookie. Mm-hmm. When I watched him in the first preseason game when I was there, he felt like a rookie quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's not a rookie, but he's going to feel like one, mm-hmm. I think. And I think even week 1 against the Bears, we're going to feel that way. We're going to have those like, moments where it's like, no, you shouldn't have done that, Mm-hmm. And KOC is going to pull you off to the side and have that like, all right, I know why you did what you did, but this is what you should have done instead, and next time you're going to do that differently. He's going to have a lot of those coaching moments, I think, on the sideline. But I think the point I'm trying to make, too, is that KOC has proven that he doesn't need that like lengthy history with these quarterbacks to get the most out of them. JJ has some history, but I still think there's a big question mark there, right? I think that's what Vikings fans are so eager for, is how is this going to play out? Because Dustin Baker has said, and we've kind of parroted him a little bit, like JJ just has to be good. Yeah. He doesn't have to be great. He doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have to be this like, amazing whatever. He just has to be good. Yeah. I was telling Jason, my brother-in-law, in the car on the way to get these beers tonight, like JJ just has to be good. Yep. He just game manager. Don't make stupid decisions, and don't try to be the hero. And I think we'll get what we need to out of him. So
absolutely,
it's a question mark again. It's not a strength. It's not a weakness. It's a big old question mark. And the other quarterbacks too, what dynamic do they add, with Brosmer and Carson Wentz in the room now? JJ's used to Sam Darnold and Brett Rippon and who's the other guy? Mullins. Man, I feel bad for forgetting his name.
Yeah, I know.
He's one of those forgettable guys, unfortunately.
BDN.
Yeah. Anyways, big question mark on the quarterback room as a whole. How will JJ perform? And we're bringing Wentz and Brosmer in the right moves. I think we're all thinking Brosmer's probably going to be the third string practice squad guy, maybe the emergency third, probably the emergency third. I think Carson Wentz is probably the proverbial number 2. I don't see why he wouldn't be.
And Brosmer, he's not on the practice squad. He's on the full-fledged 53-man roster.
You're right. Thanks for correcting me.
But I think what you're getting at, I think that third emergency quarterback,
it's kind of this weird gray area.
Well, there's some confusion there, and I can see why people would think like, practice squad, because on game day, there's, for an NFL team, there's the practice squad, there's the fully 53-man roster, and then on game day, out of your really 53 and practice squad now, you can only dress and utilize 46 players. And there's a bunch of people listening right now. They're like, I know all this, whatever. But you can only dress 46 players. So it's like another level of that final roster. But I believe, and listeners, please comment, correct me if I'm wrong, your third quarterback doesn't count towards that 46-man game day,
which is why they're designated as like this emergency position. And once they come in, there can be no other quarterbacks. Like your second or first stringer can't come back in. It's that guy, the third string guy, or it's your running back or your wide receiver or whoever.
If you only need like one play before you throw that guy in, you're gonna put like a wildcat play in or something.
Yep.
But I think Brosner for sure. I mean, definitely week 1, you're looking at JJ, Carson Wentz as QB2, and then Brosmer as that QB3. It will be telling if at all we ever see like, hey, Carson Wentz isn't dressing today. He's a healthy scratch. I don't know why we would ever, speculate that right now, but that would tell me all I need to know about Max Brosmer. If there was no like injury for Wentz and he just wasn't dressing that day, like, okay, as Vikings fans looking for the future, we kind of would be happy about that because that says a lot of great things. Carson Wentz is not going to be a Viking 3 years from now. He's definitely a Viking right now. Maybe next year, depending on where everything goes. But like, I mean, he's probably still looking to, you know, be a spot starter, be someone that, hey, if a team needs a bridge quarterback, needs a Sam Darnold for a year, like that's probably what Carson Wentz is looking for right now. He's 32-ish years old. But at this moment, he is J.J. McCarthy insurance.
And he's also a KOC protege, right? Like, he is kind of the Sam Darnold, Nick Mullins, you know, Brett Rippon. Like, he is kind of that guy that gets to sit under the tutelage of this, like, quarterback whisperer, whatever else we want to call him. He's just he's got away with quarterbacks. I heard KOC in an interview, and I'm not gonna recall like even 50% of what he said, but the gist of what he said was basically like, when I was in the league, I didn't have somebody that helped me figure this stuff out. And like, I think he just like is genuinely passionate about, like, I understand what they see when they are standing under center and they look out and see the opposing defense, and I know how to help them discern that better and how to make better decisions and how to manage the game better. And I think that's what makes him a heck of a coach.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I mean, we've seen him go on to have winning seasons in his 2 of his first 3 seasons, and he would have probably had a third had it not been for his starting quarterback and the best wide receiver in the league get injured in the same year.
Yep.
So,
well, yes, I think being wary about the quarterback position is valid, just because there's so many unknowns.
It's not that I'm wary about it. It's just that it's a question mark. We just don't know what we don't know, right? It's the element of the unknown that's driving all of that. Not this like, oh man, JJ's going to be terrible, you know. It's just, we don't know. Maybe we did strike gold. Maybe the Vikings found the next Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to be, you know, 10 years of awesomeness. Or maybe I saw something today that, you know, maybe it's a Christian Ponder situation. And it's like, man, drafted so high, had so much potential.
That would be
then
so
just
disappointing.
Totally just, you know.
That's okay, because we got Max Brosmer. He's going to be the next Mahomes. That is the thing. How long do we go until fans, quote-unquote fans, are clamoring for Brosmer to get the QB1 job? We don't want that right now. We'd rather Wentz than Brosmer now as a starter.
I think you give J.J. McCarthy the keys through the bye week for sure, even if you go 0-5.
Well, and there's a route where a team can be terrible, but it's not just because of the quarterback.
Yep.
Just like there's a route where a team can be amazing, and that's in spite of the quarterback. You know, like it can go every way.
This defense only got better,
hopefully,
in the offseason, though. So I don't think it will be because of the defense, unless there's all of a sudden these like major injuries that, like, you know, Jonathan Allen and Hargrave and Van Ginkel and Cashman.
Just pack it up.
You know, all these guys are hurt. Then it's like, well, okay, that sucks. But those guys are like tough-nosed football guys. Like they're not going to be the ones that are going to let like turf toe keep them out of a game. Tape that up
pretty bad
and put me out there.
All right, it's kind of on our outline here, but not necessarily. I got a question for you,
all right,
and I would expect you to ask it of me too. If you had to pick one, a guy that has never made the Pro Bowl, who do you think could be primed for his first Pro Bowl appearance as a Viking, or just in his career this year?
And see, some of these guys, I don't even know if they've been to the Pro Bowl or not.
Well, we can look that up. I mean, you can say a name and if it's good. Because I know who I've got, but I've had the benefit of being able to think of this question.
Did Jordan Mason go to the Pro Bowl last year?
I don't know. Let's look.
Because I was talking with my brother-in-law Jason today about the running back situation.
According to Pro Football Reference, he has never made a Pro Bowl.
Never. Okay, so I'm gonna say Jordan Mason.
Okay.
Because the discussion with Jason today was that Jordan Mason could end up supplanting Aaron Jones as the RB1.
Yeah.
In terms of workload, carries. Jordan Jordan Mason, I think, is less of a out of the backfield receiving type of running back and more of just your traditional halfback.
Yeah, in 3 seasons, Mason has something like 100 receiving yards.
Okay.
So not a ton.
Not many. So, anyways, I think as a pure running back, I could see him.
Yeah.
And I think with this revamped offensive line, a new center that's probably going to be much better at run blocking. Yeah, I'll go with Jordan Mason.
All right. I think he's definitely one that I thought of when I thought up that question here a few minutes ago. And you can see my computer screen. You know who I'm looking for.
I'm surprised he hasn't been to a Pro Bowl yet, though.
So I'm going to say for me, I think Josh Metellus is primed.
Yeah.
Ready. He's now gotten his second pretty decent payday. Both of them have been well-deserved. And he's only ever kept flourishing in the NFL. He started off as, what was he? I've got it right here. Dang it, what round? It says drafted in the 6th round. A 6th-round pick? That's basically an undrafted free agent, pretty much. And granted, yes, he was drafted by the former regime, Rick Spielman, I believe. Definitely in 2020, the same year Justin Jefferson was drafted. But all Metellus has done is keep getting better and keep putting up better stats, too. So I think if anybody is primed for their first Pro Bowl on the Vikings, it's this guy, because he's just going to keep filling roles. If he can stay healthy, he's definitely going to be able to put up the stats to be worthy of a Pro Bowl honor. The only question is, like, what position is he at, and does he lose his Pro Bowl opportunity based off of, like, oh, well, he was a decent linebacker and a decent safety, but overall, together, he was really good. It's just like other pure linebackers were better and other pure safeties were better. I think that's the only thing that could screw him.
Nah, I don't know. I think purely as a safety alone, he's got enough to, I think, justify getting into the Pro Bowl. But the fact that he's versatile enough to move around to those other positions makes him a really good fit. And he is perfect. He's built perfectly for this Brian Flores defense, where these guys are just all over the place. The defense itself is built on confusing the opponent and not giving the same look play after play, drive after drive, and making it tough for the quarterback specifically to get a read on, like, 1 minute he's going to be, cover 2 playing deep, and the next he's going to be like outside linebacker coming off the edge coming in for a sack, like you just never know where he's going to be. And I think that plays perfectly to his strengths. The other thing I would say doesn't have any bearing on the Pro Bowl whatsoever, but he's just a leader. Like, he's got his own little segment now with the Vikings. Tell us with Metellus. And but I think, like, it's not just about the bells and whistles and the fame and whatnot. Like, I truly think his teammates look up to him, follow his leadership. So I think he brings a lot of fun when fun's needed, but I think he also brings a lot of fire and passion and just hard work, So he's one of my favorite players right now.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a good dude. We've got to talk about the rest of the division, though, because there's a pretty big move that was made. Not to shift away from the Vikings entirely, but
we would be definite homers if we didn't talk about this talking point. It's an NFL changing trade.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if you heard. Did you hear the wrinkle in that story that came out today?
And that's why I put it on this outline tonight. So obviously, we're talking about Micah Parsons being traded from the Cowboys to the Packers for, we should probably look it up exactly. I think definitely 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. And was that it? Just straight up?
I think so. I don't remember exactly. You'll have to look. But definitely like a huge, splashy trade that happened between the time we recorded last week's episode and now. Did you find it?
I think it's just
the 2 first-rounders.
The Packers sent over Pro Bowl defensive tackle Kenny Clark, who's admittedly still really good, but getting up there.
Yep.
I think he's like 30. and 2 first-round picks, 1 in 26 and 1 in 27. But that's it for a guy like Micah Parsons, who...
It's arguably one of the best defensive players in the league.
Absolutely. Generationally great. And I think the only caveat is the Packers, all they had to do to solidify keeping him was give him the highest contract for a non-quarterback in NFL history, which I feel like we've heard that several times in the last couple of years, especially when for a few minutes Justin Jefferson was the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history last year.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 firsts and a aging Pro Bowler. I think most teams are making that deal any day of the week. I wouldn't be mad if the Vikings had made that kind of a deal if they didn't already have 2 Pro Bowl edge rushers in Grenard and Van Ginkel, unless one of those guys was a part of the package. But yeah, the Cowboys probably should have gotten more for him. But yeah, there is that wrinkle that you were talking about.
He's got some back problems. Mm-hmm. He's apparently receiving an injection so that he can play. Cowboys play Thursday night, by the way. They kick the season off. I think it's Cowboys-Eagles in Philadelphia. I think it's in Philadelphia. But anyways, they kick off the whole NFL regular season. And but yeah, that doesn't matter because he's not a Cowboy anymore.
I immediitely knew what was going on in your head there for a second. But yeah, the Packers host
disconnected.
They play the Lions. I don't know where it's happening, but it's a divisional game against the Lions, and that's a big deal. I mean, division games are weighted heavier than just any other normal game. But personally, I mean, I do have a little bit of experience with a back injury that requires an epidural. I am not, nor have I ever been or ever will be, a professional athlete, let alone a world-class athlete that sends ripples up ESPN anytime I stub my toe. But for about 1.5 years, I personally dealt with a bulging disc into my sciatic, which kind of sounds like something similar to what he's dealing with. And the solution for me, I tried regular pain meds like ibuprofen, Tylenol, even like prescription, a little bit stronger stuff. I tried physical therapy, and that I tried the TENS machine, which is like an electric pad that you stick to the spot that hurts, and it sends a pulse there for a half hour or whatever. The only thing that worked for me was an epidural straight into my back with like a steroid, or I forget exactly what it was. It sounds very similar to what they're saying the solution is for him. And again, I'm not a generational athlete, but that back injury kind of ruined 1 year of my life. I couldn't sit or stand at all for more than 45 minutes at a time. I had a newborn. I could only help so much with her. My wife, anytime I'm like, ooh, my back's a little tight, she's like, no, go to the doctor right now. Because she was a trooper and really took up a lot of this, cooking, cleaning, everything in our household for that. It wasn't the full year, but it was a good chunk of time because I was out of commission. I couldn't even really get out of bed without help. And that's a concerning thing for somebody that a team just paid $150-something million to.
And maybe that's why the Cowboys were willing to let him go, because maybe they knew that there were some issues there. I don't know.
I did see a report today that apparently, and granted it was a tweet, I don't know how fully accurate it was, but I guess the Packers weren't fully aware of his condition when they traded for him, and even after the
don't they physical have to do a physical and stuff
to solidify the trade. Apparently they weren't fully aware of all that, but again, it was a tweet. I don't know. It could just be way overblown.
Could be. I think the silver lining for the rest of the NFC North is that, and I think Schefter or somebody else important, maybe it was Tom Pelissero or somebody else, somebody tweeted today saying that they wouldn't be surprised if he missed some playing time.
Potentially.
Not a lot. Maybe a game here, a game there. But I don't know. If you're the other team, you're maybe going after him too.
Yeah.
he's going to come after your quarterback, but you can sick your biggest guys on him too, you know, and try to just shove him into the dirt every time he tries to come your way.
All that to say, everything I dealt with was like 2017. It's 2025 now. I still have not had a day where I don't feel some tightness, if not a little bit of pain. Now, granted, again, for the 10th time, I'm not a generational athlete. You know, like it's a little bit different for me, which also means I don't have a training staff that I can walk to, text, call any time of the day, go and have all the equipment I could ever dream of, and rehab all of that. Another thing, too, is after I saw the, apparently the Packers weren't aware of the full extent of his back situation, I did see, a minute-long video showing clips of him practicing as a Packer, so it was just in the last few days, and he was doing things, with practice dummies and actually against other players in shells and pads and stuff. He was doing things that I would have never even thought his back does not hurt him at all. He's fine. He just picked up that practice dummy, shed or whatever, the sled, there it is, and he was moving it around and he looked perfectly fine. He's probably perfectly okay.
But to that point, Justin Jefferson, he's been nursing that hamstring pretty much all the preseason, and we saw that one video of him just going sky high,
and twisting around,
looked like a freaking bird in midair, looked gorgeous, looked amazing, and yet he's still, I don't think, is he marked questionable for week 1?
He might be, although I've done a handful of fantasy drafts in the last few days, and a lot of players have had that Q next to their name or out next to their name, and Justin Jefferson has not had that. So I think he is. Jefferson specifically is marked as, he's good to go. But as far as Micah Parsons, if I were a Packer fan, I wouldn't be concerned at all. Just purely based off of seeing that video of him practicing, he looks perfectly fine. Does not look like a guy who has some back tightness. And if he was doing that in practice, maybe he had just gotten some kind of injection just to be able to move around. But if that's the case, then he could just keep getting that before the game, every game anyways. Packer fans should be excited for this move. He's not. He looks perfectly fine.
Should the rest of the NFC North be concerned?
Probably. I mean, he's really good, and looks healthy, even with these reports. I think the Vikings, when Christian Darrisaw is perfectly healthy, which we haven't really gotten any news about that, other than we haven't gotten any news about him being on IR or the PUP list or anything like that. It's just, hey, he's working his way back, and as of now, he's on the full 53-man roster, not on IR. So Christian Darrisaw seems okay, which is amazing. I thought we weren't going to see him until midway through the season. And then Brian O'Neill, the right tackle, he's just been one of the better right tackles in the league for how long is it? 6, 7, 8 years, however long he's been in the league. I think the Vikings are well equipped to handle elite players on the other side, but still, Micah Parsons gets paid too. He's gonna sack JJ McCarthy at some point. That's going to happen. We just hope Parsons doesn't ruin a game. Every team has great players, so yeah, we should be kind of aware of him, but just like every team should be aware of Justin Jefferson and Harrison Smith and Josh Metellus. Every team has great players, so it'll be fun. But yeah, he is going to change some defensive coordinators' evenings here in the next few months.
So I got one more question for you, and then we'll move to a quick preview of week 1 before we wrap things up for tonight. Who do you expect to be better off this season? And maybe we've talked about this before, I can't remember, but it's worth talking about again now that we're on the heels of the season and we have games starting on Thursday.
Yeah, the next time we record will be during and reacting to a NFL regular season game.
So who's better off, the Lions or the Bears? Because right, there's a lot of drama there with the offensive coordinator leaving the Lions, becoming the head coach of the Bears. You've got essentially a redshirt rookie because Caleb Williams played last year, but
I don't know.
He didn't do a lot last year.
I don't agree with the red shirt tag. He played every game.
All right.
I know what you're saying. He's still a young guy.
He played under a system that was already crumbling.
Okay.
And behind an offensive line that didn't really do much for him anyways. And the Bears have done a lot of work. They brought in a new head coach. They revamped their offensive line.
To this point now, Caleb Williams as a Bear has had 3 head coaches.
Yeah, and
which is a lot.
The Bears look a lot different now than they did week 1 of last year. But the Lions, Dan Campbell's still there, but they lost both of their coordinators. Jared Goff is getting up there. He's not super old yet. He's not a, Tom Brady type quarterback yet, but I don't know. He's not young and spry like he used to be either.
Yeah, I can see that.
They still have one of the best running backs in the league, Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery to back him up. They've got some other good weapons with Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I don't know. Who's better off, the Lions or the Bears?
Better off, I think the Bears are at this moment.
Interesting.
I've been pretty vocal. I really think the Lions are going to feel the losses of Aaron Glenn, their previous defensive coordinator, and Ben Johnson, their previous offensive coordinator. They're going to feel that. Where they'll be benefited is not only last year did they have good coordinators, they also have good players on their team. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff, he's getting a little bit older, but he's still not like ancient. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, everybody you just listed off, they have good players on offense and defense, and they're probably going to be getting back Aiden Hutchinson, who talk about elite pass rusher, like my goodness. But you can have the world's fastest Ferrari, and if the driver, if the guy behind the driver's seat doesn't know what he's doing, then you're not even going to be able to start the car. I'm happy to be wrong, and I will admit when I'm wrong if that's true. But Dan Campbell, he seems like a leader of men and can rah guys to go into battle. And he's got the balls to go for it on 4th and 15.
He sure does.
But Ben Johnson was the one that had to drop the play when you had to complete a 4th and 15. And Ben Johnson, who is now the head coach for the Bears, he's gone. He's not there for the Lions anymore. So, like I said, you can have the fastest car in the world, but if you don't have a good driver behind the wheel, it doesn't matter if he wants to be a good driver or not. I don't think Dan Campbell, as a play caller, because that's what he did before Ben Johnson was a play caller, he called the offensive plays. I don't think he's up to the standards of what the Lions have shown for the last 2 seasons. So I really think, all that to say, I think the Bears and the Lions will truly be competing for the 3rd spot in the NFC North. And I think the Bears might have the coaching to be able to edge them out. Either way, this is the first year for the Lions without those coordinators, and this is the first year for the Bears with Ben Johnson and with his coaching staff and his first ever year as a head coach. So there's going to be a lot of figuring stuff out. So I think the Bears and the Lions will be competing for the 3rd spot, and then you got the Vikings and Packers who will be competing for the 1st spot. I think both the Vikings and the Packers make the playoffs, and maybe the Bears squeak into the playoffs if they can figure something out. But I think the Lions, at least for 2025, they might right the ship afterwards. But I think the Lions are screwed for this coming year. You can't lose a coaches like those guys, and still be okay.
Coming back to the Packers for a second, I saw a really funny tweet that was like, it was on the heels of the Micah Parsons trade, and it was some knucklehead who was like, well, now we've got the best quarterback in the division, the best running back in the division, the best wide receivers in the division. I'm like, who? You are false on all of those claims. Jordan Love is not the best quarterback in the division. by a long shot.
Although, I mean, if we really broke it down, which we don't have to right now, but actually, like...
I think Jared Goff has it for now until he loses it.
But then it's got to be Jordan Love because J.J. McCarthy can't be listed as the best. No, he hasn't played it down.
He's unproven. Mm-hmm. And Caleb Williams had a terrible supporting cast around him.
Well, just for the fact that Caleb Williams has played at all in the NFL, he is... by definition,
the third best.
He's better than J.J. McCarthy right now because J.J. hasn't proven anything. I hope that's different. A few months from now, we're saying, my goodness, I love that J.J. McCarthy is so much better than Caleb Williams. But right now, you'd be a lunatic to say, like, oh, J.J. McCarthy, he is better, proven, absolutely better than anybody in the league. Like, no, that's just factually not true.
No, and I agree with you.
That's not what you weren't saying. He's the best, but yeah.
But like Josh Jacobs is not the best running back in the NFC North. Jahmyr Gibbs probably has that locked down. Mm-hmm. The best wide receiver is obviously Justin Jefferson. I don't even know who this person was thinking would be the best wide receiver.
The Packers have their whole wide receiver room is a room of wide receiver 3s and 4s.
Yeah, and they're all like 22 years old.
I think in the division it's got to go, Justin Jefferson, and then after that you're probably looking DJ Moore / Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a conversation to be had there, but it's not Packers. They don't even have the third best wide receiver in the division.
And it was so wildly unrelated to defense and Micah Parsons. It was like, no, you just go down the line and it's like, okay, yes, you do now have probably the best defensive player in the league, best edge rusher for sure.
Yeah, but even then, and I'm just trying to be devil's advocate. Like, Michael Parsons is really, really good, but also so is Jonathan Grenard. Like, I'm not trying to say Grenard is better than Parsons, but like, it's not. Parsons is not 1,000 miles ahead of everybody.
We're not
else.
talking.
He might be
a
miles ahead, but like, yeah.
We're and I think the fact that the Vikings have Van Ginkel and Grenard, who are both like can go on, and they've done it before, going on both sides.
Yep.
I'll take the quarterbacks.
I'll take 2 7s over 1 9 and 1 3. I don't even know who the Packers' other starting edge is, but. Yeah, I'm very happy with where the Vikings defense is right now outside of the cornerback position.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe that surprises us a little bit. Maybe it's a non-issue. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Let's talk week 1. Let's get into Monday night because a week from right now, we're going to be right back here in the saddle, live streaming and recording, probably kind of pulling double duty.
Yeah.
For episode
hopefully
104.
With friend of the show, Forrest.
Friend of the show, Forrest, will hopefully be here. Yes.
Last I talked to him, he was all in.
Which will be fun because J.J. McCarthy is a Michigan quarterback, won a national championship with Michigan. So I wouldn't be surprised if in lieu of some Chicago gear, maybe Forrest wears some Michigan gear.
I don't know if I've ever seen him in a Michigan jersey. I don't know if he has one. I do know. So, friend of the show, Forrest, a little tangent here. He has a helmet signed by most, if not all, of the players on Michigan's national championship winning team. And it was a gift to him from other friend of the show, that we both know. And I had the pleasure of being there when it was given to Forrest, and I have a video. It's I'll have to dig it up and show it to you because Forrest reacted the same way I would if the Vikings ever were to win the Super Bowl and someone gifted me a Vikings helmet, not a mini helmet, like a helmet signed by the Vikings team. Like, there's only one way to react, and Forrest reacted the perfect way. It's a fun way, and maybe we'll have him tell that story next week on the podcast. But yeah, I think so. All that to say, I don't know if he has a jersey or anything, but I do know he has JJ's signature, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Speaking of JJ, how do you think he's going to play in this first start? Do you think he's going to look like a fish out of water playing his first NFL regular season game, or is he going to just settle right in? He's going to kind of shake the rust off, maybe a play or two to kind of get into it, and then boom, we'll just know, like, in the first quarter, this is the guy, and he's going to be the guy forever.
I think, win or lose, the Vikings, us Vikings fans, will come out of that game thinking about JJ like, okay. We're not going to be like, MVP right now, because he's not going to throw for 4 touchdowns and rush for 100 yards and throw for 400 yards. I think he's going to have, maybe throw a touchdown, 150 to 200 yards passing, maybe 50-ish yards rushing. I think his stat line isn't going to be elite, but he's also not going to throw the game losing interception. He's not going to be like, God, why didn't KOC take him out of there? We're not going to be saying that. We're going to be saying
throw an interception. Do you think?
Maybe, but
or fumble.
He might have a turnover, but I think we're going to walk away as Vikings fans, from that game thinking okay, there's something there. We can work with this, It's not going to be, he's not going to be the headline on Sports Center oh yeah, JJ McCarthy, the next Tom Brady, let's go. He's penciled in as MVP. I just think we're going to be okay with how he performed. And I think that should be our expectations right now. But now that I just said that, what do you think? What do you think JJ is going to show us?
I think I'm a little more optimistic than you are.
Okay.
Again, I don't think we're going to be beating down the door, calling him, MVP right away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he comes out and has, an immaculate rating in 100 yards on the ground, 400 through the air. I don't think anything like that. I don't think he turns the ball over. I think that'll be a big thing.
Okay.
And that's a big KOC thing,
mm-hmm.
right? And it's something that he emphasizes with his offense as a whole. And it's something he emphasizes with his quarterbacks specifically. Make smart decisions. Don't put yourself in these situations where you're going to get rid of it. And there's that stat that I know we brought up several times where, if the Vikings win the turnover battle, what?
We can talk about this in a second.
Oh boy,
keep going.
That's actually crazy. I know what you're talking. Yeah. I know what you're looking at. So, anyways, there was that one season where if they won the turnover battle, meaning the Vikings mm-hmm. got more turnovers than they gave up, they won the game, and if they mm-hmm. lost the turnover battle, then they lost the game. It was kind of just as simple as that, and I think it's not always going to be 100% true of KOC's teams, but I think it's definitely indicative of his teams. And I think that's going to be something that he works on with JJ McCarthy, throughout this week. Protect the ball. If you get into those situations, throw it away, throw it out of bounds, mm-hmm. throw it into the fifth row of the bleachers if you need to.
Live to see another play.
Just get out of the play and keep going, that sort of thing. So I don't think he turns the ball over unless there's like
a fluke,
or it's pouring rain or something like that, where it's okay, the conditions are rough, you fumbled a snap or whatever, mm-hmm. All things being equal and being normal, I don't think he turns the ball over. I've emphasized that way too much, and I need to move on. But
we're distracted right now.
I think his stat line is also a little bit better than what you predicted too. In my prediction, I don't know exactly what I would peg him at in terms of completions and yards, but I think we'll see a quarterback rating over 100.
Okay,
that's what I'm going to say. I think he's prepared. I think he's had a year to sit and really digest everything and get familiar with the system, get familiar with KOC. Mm-hmm. He's going to have Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, two guys he's had experience with.
Yeah, he worked out in the summer. I don't know if it was a couple of days or all summer, but he worked out with Adam Thielen.
Mm-hmm. So he's familiar with these guys. He's really familiar with the system now. Again, I don't think we're going to bang down the door and say he's the MVP, let's sign him to a 15-year mm-hmm. contract kind of thing. And I think he'll make a mistake or two. But I don't think it's not going to be one of those mistakes where KOC's dropping an F-bomb on live TV like he did during the preseason when I think, was it Rippin or...
somebody moved when they shouldn't have.
Well, and I think it was the quarterback that maybe moved or made some sort of motion that indicated that the receiver should go into motion, but that wasn't the play. And
he was like,
Exactly. I don't think we're going to see that type of mistake out of JJ McCarthy. I think we'll see the little things like, like, hey, your footwork was maybe a little bit slow here, or you went right to your first read because you were nervous and you should have been more patient and, worked your way through the progression, and the third read was wide open. You just didn't get to him. It's going to be that sort of thing where it's like we, the casual fan, may not see it, may not totally understand it in the moment, but like when we hear him talk about it in his post-game press conference, we'll be like, okay, that makes sense. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's good that maybe we're just protecting ourselves. Neither of us are saying he's going to throw for 500 yards and 7 touchdowns.
It'd be awesome if he did.
Oh my God! If he does that, I'm getting a JJ tattoo after week 1. No, but seriously, I think we should all simmer our expectations. Just remind ourselves, like Dustin Baker said many times in many places, JJ just has to be okay. He doesn't have to be elite or Pat Mahomes. He just has to not turn the ball over a ton.
Just don't suck.
Just don't suck. And then if he does, embrace the suck, and we'll draft a different guy next year.
So you pulled up the only football game that's currently happening right now, Monday night, Labor Day, September 1st. It's Bill Belichick's college coaching debut as head coach of North Carolina.
I don't know. Did he ever coach before the NFL?
I don't think
so. It's at least his debut for the first time in decades. But yeah, he as you look that up, I wouldn't be surprised if he was like a offensive assistant for like San Jose State or something weird like that.
Count that though.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Head coaching, college debut, whatever. Either way, the end of the third quarter, and North Carolina.
I think this is his college coaching debut.
Okay. Yeah. North Carolina is down. They might score here before the end of the third quarter. There's like a minute left. But either way, North Carolina is down to TSU 7-41.
By a lot.
My goodness. One thing, I believe North Carolina's quarterback is Max Johnson, son of former Viking Brad Johnson. Mm-hmm. And Max, I think, against the University of Minnesota early, like a year ago today, or a year ago about this time, broke his leg. And was out. Yeah. I think he was out for most of the year. One of our TikToks was his leg-breaking injury. It looks like North Carolina might score a touchdown or at least a field goal here before the end of the third quarter. You guys, as you're listening now, already know how the game turned out. They just scored a touchdown. But yeah, crazy to think Bill Belichick's debut is going to go down. College debut is going to go down as like just a whooping.
Probably a double-digit loss. It looks like.
And it's in North Carolina. Where do they play? Are they in Raleigh? I think they're in Raleigh.
I think so.
Yeah. I've been to that campus. Bill Belichick. I don't know. I don't hate him. Some people might hate him because the Patriots were good for so long.
I'm glad he was never the coach of the Vikings. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and Kevin O'Connell, as a Vikings coach, beat him and the Patriots, the Tom Brady-less Patriots, because there's a difference.
Yep.
But yeah, North Carolina just scored with just under 30 seconds left in the third quarter, 14-41. That's crazy.
Didn't KOC play for Belichick?
He played for and was ultimately cut by Bill Belichick.
So there's some history there, too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, final predictions. We've already made like our purple punishment worthy predictions. We both said that the Vikings would lose to the Lions. So if
that is correct.
The Bears, not the Lions. So if the Vikings do win against the Bears, we will have to spin the wheel of purple punishments, both of us, which we need to solidify that
this week.
Go shopping if we need to. We have some things. Listeners, if you can think of any good ideas for purple punishments, let us know. We would still accept ideas. Mr. Beast just recently did like a live stream for like many hours in the hopes of raising money for his deal. Team Water or something, but as a part of his big live stream, him and a few other guys were on it for, again, 12-ish hours, and they had punishments. I just watched a recap today of the punishments they did. Some crazy ones. Like, one was like sit in a bathtub full of snakes, and like one was like have tarantulas crawl on your head.
We will not bring snakes or tarantulas into my house.
That but one was happening. Like get shot by a paintball gun from 10 yards away. Like, jeez. Some of them they seemed okay. So if you can think of any purple punishment idea, listener.
I have a Red Ryder BB gun. We could shoot each other with that.
Yeah, I'd get shot if we had if we could cover important spots. I'd get shot by a Red Ryder.
I'll just shoot you in the butt cheek. That'd be fine.
I did send you that like temporary tattoo that like solidifies over the course of a couple days and then lasts for a few weeks. That could be a punishment. Like, hey, wear one of those temporary tattoos. So if you have ideas, let us know. We still need to figure it out. But all that to say, our official prediction in the preseason was that the Vikings would lose to the Bears. If the Vikings do win, both of us will spin the wheel of purple punishments. And that'll be a fun thing that we do the week later.
It's not fun for at least one of us.
But right now, Evan, on Labor Day 2025, what is your final prediction?
I still think the Vikings lose. I'll stick to my guns. I don't think much has changed for me. I think when we made our initial predictions for the Wheel of Purple Punishments, we didn't really know the fate of Jordan Addison yet. And also, we for sure didn't know that Adam Thielen was coming back.
Yeah,
that was not even really on the radar. Mm-hmm. I think we maybe talked about it oh yeah, like pie in the sky. That'd be amazing if that guy came back, but that'll probably never happen. I think even with the developments there, it's Monday night. It's the end cap of the first week of the NFL season. All eyes are going to be on that game. Mm-hmm. I think that'll be a very, very highly watched game. I'm going to interrupt real quick. I think last week I mentioned there was probably 2 Monday night games in week one. This is it. There's only one.
Week 2, there are 2 Monday night games, but week 1 of the season, it's just the Bears and Vikings.
Just this one. So again, all eyes will be on the Vikings Bears game. I don't know. I think the pressure is maybe just a little bit too much. I think it's going to be a really close game. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be a 1-score game, and I think it might even be less than 5 points that decides it. You've said it. Dustin Baker has said it. Weird things happen at Soldier Field for the Vikings. So I don't know. All of that being considered, I still don't like their chances. I'll be elated if they win, and I will do whatever the Wheel of Purple Punishments has me do. But I'm sticking with it.
All right.
I think they lose it.
Did you give a score? I was kind of distracted here in the last few seconds.
I did not give a score. If I had to put a score out there right now, I'm going to say it's something like, we'll say 21-20 Bears.
I'm just writing this down. All right. My prediction, I think JJ does good, not great. I think everybody else does okay. I think the Bears are still figuring it out. Purple punishments, I'm still standing by. I'll still uphold whatever I predicted before the season. I don't know if I gave an actual score prediction, but I did predict the Vikings to lose. As of right now, I'm saying 20-17 Vikings.
Wow.
I think the Vikings...
You flipped the script.
For me, it's just... The reason I picked a loss preseason, or before, when we did the official pick'em, was more that Soldier Field is fluky, J.J. McCarthy is inexperienced, but that's really it. I think outside of that, everything tells me the Bears have so much to prove. Maybe Ben Johnson is going to be the next Bill Belichick and Hall of Fame coach, and Sure. Maybe Caleb Williams is going to be the next Peyton Manning and win multiple Super Bowls and whatever. Right now, they have so much to prove and no real backing to say that they're good. So everything tells me, hey, Kevin O'Connell, reigning coach of the year. If the offensive line for the Vikings got better, the quarterback hopefully is solidified, the defense is good outside of cornerback, which might be the best position or the most important position in football. All that to say, I'm still saying the Vikings are going to edge it out 20-17, and they're going to walk away victors in week 1. Whatever happens the rest of the season, it's up and down, but I'm still thinking Vikings are going to walk away.
I like the optimism.
1-0.
And I'll be stoked if that happens.
Yeah. And if that's the case, I will be glad to spin the wheel of purple punishments. Even if that means I have to wear a weird, stained, smelly Justin Fields Bears jersey for the whole episode the next time. That's fine.
All right. Well, it's unofficially locked in. Yeah. Our official picks are locked in. Again, we said the Vikings will lose. That was our pick.
Yep.
I don't know.
We got to live
in
by
July or early August.
Just a few weeks ago.
Whenever that was. So we will live or die by those picks. But we'll always update the picks.
Yeah.
Kind of like in these episodes.
Weekly we'll give a final prediction.
So, yeah. I'm excited though. It's exciting to have football back, and just fun to have like actual news to talk about.
Yeah.
Again,
I'm looking forward to the Roses and Thorns segment, to the purple punishments. We don't have to look it up right now, but I really enjoy it when one of us, like when we choose differently, and one of us definitely has to spin the wheel. That's always fun. I really do like it because they're not terrible. It's fun to do. It should be a really exciting season. I'm glad to have the Sam Darnold era over with, even though I'm still a Sam Darnold fan for life now, until he ruins a Vikings season again.
Again.
I mean, but yeah, there's a lot of optimism, and like you keep saying, there's a reason for the Vikings to be optimistic.
Yes.
And we are at the top of the roller coaster right now, and it's about to go. Let's go.
Reason to be optimistic about this beer too.
Oh my gosh. Well, we already knew we liked this beer a lot. Hold My Pretzel from
SingleSpeed.
SingleSpeed. We love SingleSpeed. The only thing I don't like about this beer is that they don't make it year round. Yes, it's essentially their Oktoberfest, because I don't think they have anyone that's named Oktoberfest. Again, if I'm wrong, listener, please comment and let me know. But yeah, this is their Oktoberfest. It's one of their seasonal beers. That's the only thing I don't like about it, because even like the 4th of July, this beer still tastes good, right? Like
it hits on more than one occasion. Mm-hmm. I do know, because SingleSpeed is based out of Waterloo, Iowa. They were trying for a while when I still lived up there. Mm-hmm. To start this German beer garden area downtown.
Okay.
And it was kind of like the traditional, just like open area in downtown Waterloo. And I'm sure they sold this and many other local beers and whatever else you would want to drink too. Like I'm sure they had Coors and Busch and whatever else. I don't know if that's still happening or not. It wasn't open every night. It was like a Friday night, Saturday night kind of thing.
Okay.
And it was only from like June to September, October, or something like that, when it's still nice outside.
Yeah. In Iowa, you only get a few months that you can do that.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's still happening, but if it is, I wouldn't be surprised if they serve this there. It definitely fits the mold for that Oktoberfest German beer garden type of vibe. I never got to go to it, by the way. I wanted to, but with little kids and stuff.
Well, if they still do it, maybe we should try to coordinate going.
It'd be fun to go up there. Maybe like catch a UNI football game or something.
Oh no, not that. That'd be just awful. Just kidding.
Speaking
of sweet,
new head coach.
Yeah,
got his first win.
Undefeated.
And did you see that Mark Farley? Yeah, Stepsis is the new head coach for UNI. Mark Farley, former longtime head coach.
Like Kirk Ferentz level.
Like long before we were even in college, had been there forever. He's now working for Illinois football.
Really? I thought he fully retired.
I thought so too, and then I saw some news headline that he's stepped up as like some assistant with Illinois football. And Illinois football isn't bad.
No, like they've been on the up and up the last
they're kind of probably top 5 in the Big Ten. So yeah, Mark Farley working with Illinois football.
I didn't know that.
I don't know in what capacity, and I don't know how much, but yeah, I figured like you did that he was just retired, done, gonna go, hang out in Florida for the rest of his life.
Google says that Farley recently joined the Illinois staff for Brett Bielema.
Yeah,
and but they didn't specify his duties, but they did say he's not an assistant coach, so some kind of a
probably like an advisor
or something. Yeah, I don't know. All right,
consultant, something like that.
Good for him. If that keeps him happy, if that's his quote unquote retirement job. I've always said my retirement job, I'm going to work for a golf course and just mow greens. If that's his mowing greens, good for him.
Yeah. All right. Well, really good beer. I like this beer a lot. I'd have this beer probably every single episode if you would let me.
Yeah, I would agree, but unfortunately,
and we got to try all these other beers too. We've tried over 100 different beers.
We should have like a running number because we've doubled up a couple of times, but we've also had a couple episodes where we've had more than one beer too.
Yep.
Before we close it out, listener, if you want to support our show at all, go ahead and like and subscribe to any of our content that you see. You can see us and listen on YouTube and Spotify. If you're just into audio, we are everywhere you find podcasts, even like Audible and all those crazy ones too. I think even iHeartRadio too, maybe. But yeah, we're everywhere. Just search the Skol Hop. We have sent out free stickers in the past. Friend of the show, Dennis, I'm talking to you. We just, if you haven't gotten yours yet, it is in the mail. I can verify that. But if you want a sticker, go ahead and send us an email to theskolhop@gmail.com, and we will send you, if you want it, a free sticker. And other than that, we are everywhere social media-wise. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, Blue Sky, I think, is still a thing. We're everywhere, so search the Skol Hop and you will find us. We'd love to talk with you outside of the episodes, and specifically, we're looking for more Purple Punishment ideas too. So, did I miss anything? I think we have some new merch out there too.
Yeah, I forget what the name of that site is though. You got to remind me of that.
Yeah, so we signed up for some merch, and I think we'll try to post it here too. But it is theskolhop.threadless.com, and that's threadless as if you don't have any threads, threadless. And there's all kinds of things: t-shirts, men's, women's, kids, accessories, phone cases, all the fun stuff. If you want our logo on something, you can probably find it there. So hats, everything. Yep.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. And I looked at it. You sent it to me the other day. I just could not for the life of me remember off the top of my head what the website was called. But yeah, tons of options.
And we're still working on that. So if you want to see something different, let us know, and we'll try to figure it out there too. So yeah, we're out there. We'd love to talk to you guys. Tell us what you love about us. Tell us what you hate about us. We'll take it. If you do love us, give us a rating wherever you're listening, so other people can find us, and share us with everybody else too.
You can get rugs and bath mats. Ooh, shower curtains. If you want a Skol Hop shower curtain,
my wife
can make that happen.
Would love that so much. So I may be getting a shower curtain. What's the price? You don't have to say it. But.
Oh man, hang on. Let's see if we can find that out. You can get it for the wonderful price of $74.95.
We don't control these prices on Threadless, but if you want the Skol Hop shower curtain. For the low price of $74.95, probably plus tax and shipping, it's available to you. If you do get a shower curtain, please, for the love, send us a picture, because that's awesome. But yeah, we get a minimal kickback on all this stuff. stuff. But yeah, we're everywhere else. So let us know if you're listening. That'd be great.
You can get a hat for $25. That's not bad.
Yeah, there you go. And I think, again, on something like that, our kickback is probably like $2 to $3. Yeah, something crazy. But yeah, if you want to rep us, you can. We've gotten some of our own, drop shipped merch for our own selves too. So here's to a great season. Here's to more great episodes. I don't know, Ev. This might be the best episode yet.
I'd say so.
Skol.
Skol.